Good evening and thank you for joining us on News 360. As always, it is live on from our news hub here at Adisawi Kanda in Accra. I am Ayisha Yakubu.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. These are the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank.
Ashanti Regional Security Council bans use of motorbikes after 7 p.m. until further notice after recent murders at Aswanse in Kumasi.
Over 125,000 members of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association outraged as mid-year budget omits promised conditions of service.
Also coming up, hundreds of makeshift structures used by illegal miners at Tuntumba, Calabar and Binyiri in the Bole district of the Savannah region destroyed by Regional Security Council.
And later in business, official creditor committee agrees to defer Ghana's debt repayment to 2040 to free up more fiscal space as France becomes first member to sign debt relief for Ghana.
And on the foreign front, treason trial of former Democratic Republic of Congo President Joseph Kabila begins in a military court in the capital, Kinshasa. We're live on TV3 Ghana, on Facebook, all across the world, on 3news.com. Stay with us for the details.
We are starting from Parliament because some vetting is currently still ongoing, but it started earlier in the day and a number of minister designates have passed through. The Deputy Minister Designate for Foreign Affairs, James Gyekye, says government must treat with urgency the Dual Citizenship Amendment Bill. James Gyekye was answering questions when he appeared before the Appointments Committee earlier today.
Ghanaians in the diaspora coming back home. You see, that is why I think about 3 years ago we tabled an amendment to not the visa applications, but we did table, if I recall, refresh my memory, that Dual Citizenship Amendment Bill. This is something that we have to take very important as a nation, because we look at our GDP and remittances from the diaspora alone is one of the major contributors, along with our gold and our cocoa. Those are the three leading income GDP for the nation. And to just look at that and not tap into the wealth, the knowledge, the experience, and add it to what we already have home, we'll be doing ourselves disservice. A lot of nations have recognized that. Even the UK does that. But here we are, and I'm sure all of you are testimony to what I went through, just to be part of the system, to try to pave a way for others to come. You see, nobody should be going through such things. So I'll kindly come back to the House. One of these days we have the Professor Asari, popularly known as Kweku Azar, who championed this dual amendment, citizenship dual amendment, and that we can all make sure that our children, our grandchildren can come back and bring the expertise and the income and the resources. And I personally know a lot of my counterparts who are heavily invested, but just afraid to leave everything and come, because if they come, they've lost their investments. If they know they can have both ways, they'll bring this investment. Not everyone is coming for politics. There are investors out there, there are scientists, there are IT experts, professors, and all of them. So, answer to your question is, my brother, I'll work tirelessly along with my minister to see how best, and also with the House, to see how we can pass this dual amendment bill. That will eradicate the challenges they have. But in the meantime, before that goes into effect, I work with Minister Blackwell to make sure that we can facilitate a quick process for them to get a visa if they intend to come to their homeland. Thank you.
Still in Parliament, the House has repealed the Road Fund Act 1997 Act 536 after it passed the Road Maintenance Trust Fund Bill on Friday. Before its repeal, the Road Fund Act established a dedicated fund for financing the maintenance and rehabilitation of public roads. This included routine and periodic maintenance as well as rehabilitation of existing road network. The fund also supports metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in their road-related functions. These functions and more have now been ceded to the Road Maintenance Trust. We're crossing over to my colleague, Christian Yale, who is our parliamentary correspondent. Chris, if you can hear me, what more will this new fund do?
Ayisha, exactly. What we know is that over the years, the Road Fund Act 1997 has faced a number of challenges, including legal actions, road contracts that are not properly accounted for, inequitable access of road infrastructure across the country, among many other things. And so this new trust fund, which is the Road Maintenance Trust Fund Bill, which has just been passed, is seeking to address all of these irregularities and the shortcomings of the now repealed Road Fund Act. Basically, it's going to improve accountability, transparency, equitable access of road infrastructure across the country, and ensure that most of those projects that are embarked on by government are successfully dealt with and completed for use by motorists and pedestrians alike. Ayisha.
Chris, I believe you'll bring us more on that road fund later, but we understand that Parliament was adjourned today. Has there been any change in that plan?
Exactly, there's been a change. What we understand is that per the original schedule, the House was to adjourn sine die or go on recess somewhere in August. We earlier got an indication from the majority leader that they were going to do that at the end of the month, which is July. And so the expectation was that it was going to be today or hopefully on Monday next week. But just a while ago, the leader read the budget statement for next week, and the indication is that they are going to likely go on a recess on 1st August, which is next week Friday, just a week away from now. It just tells you about the loads of work that are yet to be dealt with. Today, for instance, about 2 bills have been passed and a number of papers have been laid, and there are even more that are still in the backlog. Ayisha.
Thank you very much, Christian, for those updates. Christian Yale is our parliamentary correspondent, bringing us up to date on happenings in the House.
Now let's go to one of our headline stories this evening, and tensions are rising within Ghana's labour front as nurses, midwives and other professional bodies express disappointment over omissions in the mid-year budget presented by Finance Minister. More than 125,000 nurses and midwives across the country are angered by what they describe as a betrayal by the government after their long-awaited conditions of service were left out of the budget.
When the Finance Minister, Dr. Kezia Latuforsen, presented the mid-year budget, many nurses and midwives were expecting to see their conditions of service formally captured. However, to their surprise, the minister announced that the issue was not included because, according to him, his team failed to brief him adequately. This explanation has not sat well with members of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, who say they feel misled by government. Earlier assurances from the Ministry of Health and the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission had convinced the nurses to hold off any protest action, with a promise that their demands will be addressed in this budget. Now, many fear the exclusion signals yet another delay, sparking discontent across various health facilities nationwide. In a bid to prevent unrest, JNMA President Perpetual Foriampofo is urging calm among members, assuring them that leadership is actively engaging government.
There's a sense of, have we been lied to? Have we been deceived? Or is the Minister of Finance trying to get us to agitate again, or what? And that is the sense we get on our platforms. But like I said, I'll use this opportunity to calm all of them. Calm down. Nothing untoward is going to happen from as far as I'm concerned. We have trust in the fair wages that led the last meeting. We have trust in the employer, our employer, which is the Ministry of Health. We'll wait. August, September is not far. We'll wait to see what happens.
She insists the association will not relent in pushing for what is due with their members.
From what we have heard, the minister says he hasn't been briefed. He will be duly briefed. And from what we know, the budget is always a composite budget from all the sectors. So our sector is the Ministry of Health. If our employer within health tells us that, yes, they will do this, then we have no doubt that they will do it.
As the situation unfolds, all eyes are now on government to act swiftly and avoid further agitation on the already tense labor front.
Let's take a quick trip to the Ashanti region, where some very unfortunate news has been coming in from the region. The Ashanti Regional Security Council has banned the use of motorbikes on the roads after 7 p.m. until further notice. This follows the murder of a middle-aged man at Aswase, a suburb of Kumasi, after being shot multiple times by unknown assailants on a motorbike. This is the second murder in 3 days within the same area. Ibrahim Abubakar, who's our correspondent in the region, has been following this story and comes through with a report.
Exact spot the shocking incident occurred, and it has left many residents in fear and raised concerns over rising violent crimes in the area. According to eyewitnesses, the victim was walking to his car when two men on a motorbike approached and opened fire at him, shooting him several times before speeding off. The victim, whose identity has not yet been disclosed pending family notification, was pronounced dead at the scene. The nature of the attack has left residents shaking, with many urging authorities to take swift action to curb the surge in criminal activities.
We are very scared, and we plead on authorities to put measures in place so that tomorrow this incident will not happen again. We are terrified and scared in this area. We plead on the government to step in so that these killings will stop.
A similar motorbike-related shooting incident occurred on Tuesday evening, leading to the death of a respected traditional leader. In response to the recent security incident involving the fatal shootings, the Regional Security Council has resolved that no motorbikes shall be permitted on the roads after 7 p.m. until further notice. Also, the use of unlicensed motorbikes and motorbikes without lights is strictly prohibited. Again, no motorbike rider is permitted to wear a smock until further notice, as it has become an avenue for suspects to conceal weapons. Additionally, there will be increased security presence in hotspot areas involving both the police and military to ensure peace and protect lives and property. As the community mourns, demand for justice are growing. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Right, and we will also want to speak to Ibrahim again, because the directive from the Ashanti Regional Minister, who is the head of the Regional Security Council, says that no motorbike should be seen from 7 p.m. It's a few minutes after 7. Let's speak to Ibrahim, who is at the crime or the scene of the shooting, to paint a picture for us. Ibrahim, good evening. Thank you for your time. Have you seen any motorbikes there? At least, are people complying with this new directive by the Regional Minister?
Well, Martin, the motorbikes are moving about, maybe possibly because the directive came in later today and people had already gone to work. So what the police has decided to do today is to make sure they scrutinize them, search them, make sure there isn't anything unlawful or any weapon in their motorbikes before they allow them to move. Then they tell them that beginning tomorrow, they should ensure that by 7 p.m., they shouldn't be seen with motorbikes outside. So currently, police and military security have been dipped in vantage point across Asawase, and in fact, it has even caused vehicular traffic because the police are making sure they do not set only motors but also vehicles as well, so that they maintain law and order within our Asawase. Because there is growing fear here, even though people are going about doing their normal activity, but you engage them, they tell you that they do not know who is the next target. And for that matter, they are urging the police to be swift in their investigation and be able to arrest the perpetrators involved. Fortunately, this scene is not too far from the crime scene, but we do have a CCTV camera very close to the crime scene. So people are just hoping that the police will be able to access those camera footages and track the perpetrators to be able to effect an arrest.
And Ibrahim, this is the second murder, second shooting of this nature in just a matter of 3 days. Do we know, gauging from the views you've picked from people, what could be the reason behind these recent surprising attacks?
Well, Martin, I can tell you there are so many reasons adduced to this. Everybody and its reason. People are talking about tribal, people are talking about targeted killing, and the information we are even picking is that this person who was killed is a bit close to the one who died, the chief who died on Tuesday, and not in terms of relation, but we are told they are friends. So we do not know. We are just waiting for the police to come out with the investigation. But I can tell you that most of the youth are angry, and in fact, I've even seen some group who said they are suspecting one another and want to retaliate, but they are just trusting the police, hoping that this will be resolved. They were waiting for the first incident to be resolved. They said the police had already assured them that they will fish out the perpetrators. They gave their trust to the police only for this one to also happen. So we now have the leadership of even the Zongo community having to come in, persuade the youth, speak to them, to leave everything in the hands of the police. But whilst also advising the youth, they are also calling on the police to be swift with their investigation to put the matter to rest.
Ibrahim, thank you for this succinct report on that unfortunate shooting of another man within the Asawase enclave. And the police say they are investigating. We hope that the youth do not take the law into their hands, just allow the law enforcement bodies to do the needful, and would update you subsequently when we do get updates.
From the Ashanti region, let's take you to the Savannah region, where hundreds of makeshift structures believed to be used as shelters by illegal miners at Tuntumba, Calabar and Binyiri, all in the Bole district of the Savannah region, have been destroyed in an early morning raid by the Savannah Regional Security Council. 8 excavators belonging to the illegal miners have also been seized by the Security Task Force.
The operation, led by Savannah Regional Minister and Chairman of RECSEC, Ayisha-Dartey, is the second of its kind in a space of 3 months in the Bole district. Over 100 makeshift structures, believed to be used as shelter by the illegal miners, were destroyed and set ablaze. 8 excavators were also seized. Dozens of the illegal miners, including some foreign nationals, fled the scene upon the arrival of security personnel, abandoning their equipment and other belongings. Speaking to the media, the regional minister, Ayisha-Dartey, noted that RECSEC is prioritizing the arrest and prosecution of the financiers behind the illegal operations.
Our aim is actually the financiers of this heavy-duty equipment. To carry a machine like this excavator by a low bed from wherever you are having it located to this place is a huge cost. And some of the operators cannot bear this cost. Of course, there are big wigs somewhere. And our task is to identify not just the operators, but the big wigs who are financing and supporting this activity. And when they are actually identified, be sure that we'll take the appropriate due steps to punish them.
He emphasized that government is bent on dealing ruthlessly with galamsey activities to safeguard the environment and water bodies.
The stream is a main source. Sometimes, because of the nature of our environment, the stream dries out at some time in the year, and within the rain season, it comes back. You can see that they try to block the stream and gather some water at a certain point for which they are using that. And that is terrible and that is bad. And when you block a stream, it means that a livelihood is actually affected, and many other people will also be affected. So when you deposit, not just the blocking of the stream, but if you deposit the heavy metals that they are using, it gets into the river. And you know the millions of people who are drinking the water from the river. And that is something that we ought to protect.
Earlier this year, more than 12 excavators and other mining equipment were seized in a similar operation in the Bole enclave.
Still on security matters, the Ghana Police Service has arrested 27 suspects during an anti-illegal mining operation at Ankase Jadam near Asamang-Tafo in the eastern region. The arrests were made on Friday, the 25th of July, which is today. The suspects were arrested while actively engaging in illegal mining activities at various sites in the area. During the operation, some individuals attempted to obstruct and attack the police officers on duty, wielding machetes and other offensive implements. According to the police, 11 excavators, 1 bulldozer, 1 pump-action shotgun, 3 saloon vehicles, 1 Mitsubishi pickup and 1 pickup loader, several water pumping machines and other mining equipment were seized from the site. The suspects are in police custody assisting with investigations, while exhibits have been retained in secure custody to help with investigation.
The Oti Regional House of Chiefs is calling for urgent national security intervention in the Nkwanta South municipality following recent clashes that have led to deaths of civilians. The area has witnessed the shooting of 2 Konkomba youths by unknown assailants at Abrewanko Junction, leaving both in critical condition. During President Mahama's thank you tour of the Oti region, President of the Oti Regional House of Chiefs, Nana Soglo Alo IV, appealed for the establishment of a permanent military base in either Dambai or Nkwanta to strengthen security.
Your Excellency, the region is currently experiencing serious ethnic and chieftaincy conflicts, and these are of national security concerns. There are pockets of ethnic violence in Nkwanta South constituency, chieftaincy conflicts in Pai Katanga and in KJB Akan constituency, and anticipated ethnic violence in Pasa and its environment. We urgently need the attention of the national security to tackle these conflicts before they take different dimensions. We are also pleading with the government to establish a permanent military base in the region to be situated either in Dambai or in Nkwanta.
Meanwhile, following these concerns, President John Mahama has called on all groups involved in the Nkwanta conflict to lay down their arms and prioritize peace.
And Ghana's future, boosting the local economy and also providing sportsmen for national assignments. My brothers and sisters, I cannot conclude without talking about peace. All these things I've talked about, all this infrastructure development I've talked about, cannot take place if we do not have peace. And that's why the development in Nkwanta is troubling. I wish to appeal to all those in Nkwanta who are involved in the conflict to please lay down your arms. When Nana was talking, he asked for the establishment of a military barrack. Why should we be wanting a military barrack? It's because we are fighting. We should be asking for hospitals and schools and jobs and things, not military camps. And when he mentioned it, he said at an appropriate location. And somebody whispered, he said in Kwanta. And so please, let's give peace a chance. Every once in a while, in the security reports, I read very disturbing.
Meanwhile, the Vice President, Professor Jinano Pokwajiman, has entreated the people in the Central Region to embrace peace, as always, for stability and development. She was speaking during a courtesy call on the Uguaman Hene in Cape Coast.
The courtesy call on the chiefs and people was to show appreciation for their love and support for her, President Mahama and the NDC before and after the 2024 general elections.
Yes,
we give thanks to God for everything. The country is for all of us, so let's contribute to its development and also by ensuring peace and stability.
Political advisor to the Vice President Samuel Ofosu Ampofu expressed hope the economy will fully bounce back under the leadership of John Mahama and Professor Nana Jane Opokwajiman.
This is a government, that's what it says. And now, Parliament. If you say,
this is a government that does what it says. The budget on Thursday was full of good news that will improve the lives of Ghanaians. I was not surprised that the minority could not stand it, but they should wait for more of such good news that will marvel them.
Now, in an era where patient comfort is just as vital as clinical care, one facility in La Paz, here in Accra, is redefining the healthcare experience. St. Michael's Specialist Hospital is setting new standards in premium medical service delivery.
St. Michael's Specialist Hospital is a multidisciplinary, ultra-modern healthcare facility that goes beyond clinical care to deliver true comfort and a personalized experience. Located in La Paz, St. Michael's blends hotel-style elegance with high-end medical services, creating a unique environment for the client who expects not just treatment, but an experience. From the moment you step through their doors, the difference is clear. Every detail from the architecture to patient's care is designed with comfort, privacy, and excellence in mind. Clinical Affairs Manager Dr. Laurentia Ankuma highlights the hospital's mission.
Our core mission is to provide first-class healthcare in Ghana and also across West Africa, being patient-centered and giving a very good care in a luxurious and a very comfortable environment. We are a one-stop shop hospital. So when you come, you get everything at your disposal. You don't have to move from one place to the other to get any other services.
The facility is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, including a cutting-edge catheterization machine. Dr. Ankuma explains how this advanced technology is transforming patient outcomes.
We are one of the hospitals that have a catheterization lab. And currently I'm standing the catheterization lab where most of our patients who tend to have heart attacks, this is the place where we intervene when they come in timely, they come in the right time. At St. Michael's Specialist Hospital, we give exceptional care, exceptional comfort, every patient, every day.
From diagnostics to recovery, St. Michael's Specialist Hospital is setting a new benchmark for premium healthcare in Ghana.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. Business, sports, entertainment are all coming up right after this.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle, from the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital,
from the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom,
reporting from Sunyani,
from the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds.
the moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News, leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
for staying with us. Menuafo has joined us with some business news. Menuafo, what do you bring?
Ayisha. Well, Ghana's Official Creditor Committee has agreed to defer our debt sometime later in the years to come. We'll tell you the details and how that will benefit the country as well. Well, go ahead. Thank you so much. Good evening and welcome to the business segment on News 360. I am Menu Afol. Ghana's Official Creditor Committee has agreed to defer the country's debt repayments until 2040, a move expected to provide critical fiscal space as the government continues efforts to revive the economy.
In January this year, Ghana announced it had secured $2.8 billion in debt relief after all 25 members of its Official Creditor Committee signed a Memorandum of Understanding initially reached in principle under the G20 Common Framework for Debt Treatment. The debt reprieve is seen as a major boost to the country's ongoing $3 billion program with the International Monetary Fund aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability and ensuring long-term fiscal sustainability. During a visit to Ghana, co-chair of the Creditor Committee, William Roos, confirmed the country's debt repayments have been deferred by over a decade to ease financial pressures.
100% of the payment Ghana should have done to the creditors, official creditors. We have decided to reduce this payment by 100% from 2023 to 2026. So it means that Ghana will not pay anything to the official bilateral creditors during this critical period in order to invest for the country, for the population, and also to give space to negotiate with the other creditors.
As part of the process, Ghana and France signed a bilateral agreement on Friday, 25 July, formalizing the terms of the debt relief. France becomes the first Paris Club member to fully commit to the debt restructuring deal following Ghana's default after the COVID-19 crisis. Finance Minister Dr. Ayisha expressed his appreciation to the French government, describing the move as a significant step towards economic recovery.
On behalf of the people of Ghana, thank the French Republic and particularly the President of the Republic, Mr. President Emmanuel Macron, for the support that the people of Ghana have received from the Republic over the years. Our country went through some difficult times since 2022, at a time when hope was lost and when Ghana had defaulted. Economic crises were quite steep. It was a very difficult situation. But it's often said that it's only during difficult times that you see your true friends. And we can say, without missing words, that the French Republic came through handy. And Ghana is extremely grateful for the cooperation.
In more news tonight, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, is urging faith leaders and financial stakeholders to champion the adoption of non-interest banking and finance as a credible, ethical and inclusive alternative to conventional banking. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement with members of the clergy, Dr. Isiama described the model, commonly referred to as Islamic banking, as a transformative instrument for economic justice and inclusive prosperity.
Dr. Johnson Isiama, delivering a speech at the stakeholder engagement, emphasized that with Ghana needing an estimated $37.9 billion annually to meet its infrastructure financing goals, tools like Sukuk bonds, a key feature of NIBF, could unlock much needed capital while aligning with moral values.
We require close to $38 billion on an annual basis if we are to meet our infrastructure financing needs in order to achieve the sustainable development goals. In light of fiscal constraints, many developing economies therefore are turning to innovative financing instruments, such as the Sukuk bonds, which is a core component of NIBF.
Some members of the clergy were engaged on the financing model to create awareness as well as demystify misconceptions. Advisor on non-interest banking and finance at the Bank of Ghana, Professor John Gachi, in an interview, revealed plans to establish a regulatory framework on the new banking model before end of this year.
The target is to come up with the framework, that is the regulation, by the close of the year. But you cannot do that without engaging the critical stakeholders, and that is why we are engaging our stakeholders, clergy, who represent a greater portion of the population.
Let's now take a look at what's happening on the forex and commodities markets. And that's how we wrap up business on News 360. I am Menu Aful. Stay with us. Sports News comes up next.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle, from the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. We start from Morocco, where the women's AFCON third place playoff is ongoing between Ghana and South Africa. And unfortunately, South Africa currently lead the Black Queens by a goal to nil. Joining me live from Morocco is my colleague Ayisha Ejay. Ayisha, is there a surprise that South Africa have gotten ahead just before the halftime whistle?
Well, it was.
Right. So we'll get Ayisha back on the line to speak to us with regards to the first half of that game. But head coach of Asante Kotoko, Karim Zito, has highlighted the importance of the upcoming Toyota Cup showdown with South African Giants Kaizer Chiefs set to take place on Saturday, July 26th at the iconic Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban. The friendly fixture forms part of Kotoko's pre-season activities and serves as a high-profile test against one of Africa's most respected clubs. Now, Coach Zito believes the match presents a golden opportunity for his players to measure themselves against elite competition.
I mean, I'm very happy when we were told that we are coming to play Kaizer Chiefs here. It's just similarly like you going outside your country to play. So, and they will see these are the type of games we are going to meet during the campaign. So to me, it's very, very important. To them too, it's very, very important. Well, the preparation for the season starts from here. And anything can happen during the course of preparations. Mostly when we are preparing, we don't look at the results. We look at the way we want them to play during the competition. So for me, it's double. It's double. If I win, I'll be very happy. But at the end of the day, are they going to go by what I've told them to do or what I've taught them to do? That is the most important thing to me.
Now, the Sports and Recreation Minister Kofi Adams has pledged to improve infrastructure to support the government's recreation agenda. According to the Member of Parliament for Buem constituency, the plan is a top priority for the sitting government, and the goal is to scale up recreational projects to promote wellness among Ghanaians. But we'll talk about that later. But Ayisha has joined us again on the line from Morocco. Ayisha, as I mentioned earlier, is it a surprise that South Africa have gotten ahead of Ghana in this first half?
Bill, there's nothing surprising about South Africa, who won the tournament in 2022, who played in the finals in 2018, leading against the Black Queens. Even in our group opener, they won 2-0 against us. What was the main bane for the Queens not being able to win against South Africa? We already know, failing to take our chances. We have had a number of chances we should have scored, we could have scored, and we would have been leading, probably by 2-0 in this game. Is it surprising the South Africans have taken the lead? Absolutely not. I still think that just the same thing the Black Queens will now have to go back, and if there's anything they need to solve, I mean, getting into the AFCON qualifiers for the 2026 AFCON, it would be to get sharper attack. It would be to sharpen our attack. If there were certain players who could have done a better job in our attack that we didn't, for this would be the time for us to bring them back. If we still need time to teach even these players who still play on a professional level how to be very decisive, how to be very impactful when we're in the final third of the pitch. It's the time for us to do that as well.
Indeed, hopefully the Black Queens get some comeback in the second half and hopefully beat South Africa in there. That brings an end to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishet.
reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle, from the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
And Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil, powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, acclaimed Nollywood actor Jim Ike has asserted that the once thriving collaboration between the Ghanaian and Nigerian movie industries ended due to emotions and politics. Now, speaking on 3FM, the popular movie star noted that the partnership was strong and full of promise. He, however, pointed out that a single wrong comment and an emotional reaction were enough to destroy it.
But I think they've allowed politics supersede the real gift or the real reason why that space was gifted to them, because it's a gift. From first-class information that's come to us, there was a certain time where there was a collaboration between Nigerians and Ghanaians that was heading for better waters. And we all invested our emotions and our economy in that collaboration. And we didn't need anybody with ulterior motives or the politics or the naysayers to come between us because it was thriving and working organically.
To Jim Ike, the once successful collaboration had created significant opportunities for both countries, helping some of Ghana's biggest acting talents achieve fame.
Some of your biggest talents came from that collaboration.
Very true.
You know, some of them, they were in obscurity till that collaboration. Why end it?
The actor, who is currently promoting his new movie Sin in Ghana, is of the opinion that personal feelings and political interference ultimately derailed the successful venture. Jim Ike, one of Nollywood's highest paid actors, emphasized that Nigerians tend to separate emotions from business, which he believes is a key factor in the continued growth of their entertainment industry.
Somebody spoke the wrong word and somebody got emotional. Now, this is the difference between us and you. We don't get emotional about money. I can sit here and do business with my worst enemy and still not be in a social circle, but everybody wants to be involved with everybody's insecurities. Can we have a common ground where we say, let's focus on the ball? As a collective, we'll move. As a collective, we can force any leadership to sit down. We force leadership to sit down on our place. We force superstructures to sit down in our place. We force narratives across Africa to sit down on our place because we went as a consensus. If they learned the principle and power behind the consensus, they would not have messed up that collaboration.
Well, before I go, I'd like to remind you that on Sunday is the ground launch of Ghana's Most Beautiful 2025. So do make some time to join us on TV3 or live at the Independence Arc. That's it for the Entertainment News segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
International news is next.
The treason trial for the former president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Joseph Kabila, started Friday in a military court in the capital, Kinshasa. Joseph Kabila also faced other charges such as murder linked to his alleged support for M23 rebels who controlled a large part of the mineral-rich east of the country. He denies the charges and did not appear at the hearing. Kabila's successor, President Felix Tshisekedi, has accused him of being the brains behind the rebels. The former president has rejected the case as arbitrary and said the courts were being used as an instrument of oppression. France's state minister for ties with Francophone countries and international partnerships.
Thank you for staying with us over the last hour. My name is Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I'm Ayisha Yakubu. Enjoy your weekend.